All right, wonderful. Thank you. Good evening. Welcome. I would like to call the Town of Haymarket's Town Council regular monthly meeting to order for this evening, Monday, March 2nd, 2026. Roll call, please.
Costello.
Present.
Larson.
Here.
Gallagher.
Here.
Hager.
Here.
Capsella.
Here.
Baker. DNA.
Here.
Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's true, that's what we should do. All right. This evening, I would like to invite Reverend Chelsea Morse from Haymarket Church to the podium to give us this evening's invocation.
Good evening, Haymarket, Town of Haymarket, Mayor. I appreciate the invitation to be here tonight. Would you pray with me? Gracious and holy God, divine source of wisdom and light, we gather this evening in the heart of Haymarket, a town built at the crossroads of history. We are grateful for this place where paths meet, and we thank you for the privilege of calling this community home. We lift up our public servants, our mayor, our council members, and town staff. We thank you for their willingness to step into the arena of leadership. Grant them clear minds and compassionate hearts as they navigate the complexities of our growth, from the preservation of our historic lands to the building of our future. May they be guided by a wisdom that looks beyond the immediate to the enduring good of all. And we acknowledge with heavy hearts that we live in a season where air is often thick with divisiveness. It's easy to see neighbors as adversaries and to let the noise of the world drown out the needs of our next door neighbor. Help us in this room and in these streets to be a different kind of people. Teach us to listen with the intent to understand rather than the intent to reply. And we ask a special blessing today for our local business owners and entrepreneurs. We thank you for those who invest their dreams, their time, and their resources into our town. May their ventures flourish, and may they find in this community a partner for progress. Strengthen their hands as they seek not only to succeed, but to improve the lives of those that they serve. In the midst of our community, remind us of our shared humanity. May we be a community that chooses kindness over contempt and service over self-interest. And let us leave this place tonight resolved to be good neighbors in the truest sense, protecting the vulnerable, honoring our heritage, and walking together towards a brighter and unified future. And may peace be within these walls and prosperity within our wonderful town. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, so this evening we have a proclamation to present to the American Red Cross. Accepting the proclamation is Chris Duffy, Director, Service to Armed Forces and International Services of the American Red Cross.
Okay, American Red Cross Month 2026, a proclamation. In March, we celebrate American Red Cross Month by honoring our neighbors who make its humanitarian mission possible in the Haymarket community. Every day, their acts of kindness change lives, bringing relief, comfort, and hope when help can't wait. This compassionate spirit runs deep in our community, just as it has for 145 years through the American Red Cross. Today, those who serve with the American Red Cross of Northern Virginia light the way during emergencies, whether it's delivering shelter, food, and comfort after disasters, providing a safe, life-saving blood supply for patients facing conditions like cancer treatments, childbirth complications, and traumatic injuries, assisting military members, veterans, and their families with 24/7 global support, or empowering individuals with skills like first aid and CPR that save lives. These collective efforts are a powerful reminder that the strength of our community lies in our shared commitment to one another. As we mark Red Cross Month, let's celebrate our local heroes and resolve to continue lifting each other up so no one faces an emergency alone. Now therefore, Mayor Tracy Lynn Pater of the town of Haymarket, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the laws of the town of Haymarket, Virginia, and on behalf of the Haymarket Town Council, do hereby proclaim March 2026 as Red Cross Month. I encourage all citizens of the Haymarket community to reach out and support its humanitarian mission. A witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand this 2nd day of March in the year of our Lord, 2026, and of the town of Haymarket in Prince William County of the Commonwealth of Virginia.
I was gonna say, we'll do a photo.
Photo up? Okay.
Presenting the proclamation.
I almost wore it. We would have been twins tonight. I love it.
Okay, squish in, squish in.
All right. Everybody smile. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, thank you.
So Justin getting sponsored now.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. All right. Also this evening, we would like to highlight one of our longtime businesses here in Haymarket, Contemporary Music Center. We have Mr. Minzy Pittman present to share with us about his new location. Okay. Yes, please, the podium.
Good evening to everybody. We kind of relocated. We moved downstairs. We had the opportunity to take the room next to where 4410, which is our performance venue, is, and combine two with no stairs and a much more approachable number per month. So the two kind of went together, and it's going really well. We have a lot of open mic nights there. We certainly try to get the community to come out and do what they do, but we have a lot of young singer-songwriter kind of folks, and we have adults, and some people come and they sing and they play, and some people come and they watch and they go, I'm going to do that one day. And we go right ahead. And they go, I'm scared to death. I'm like, you can do this. So I made some notes on the business, but I guess most people here know what we do. So we do a lot of education. We had a really nice thing happen this past month. The trade association that we belong to is called the National Association of Music Merchants. So the shortness of that is NAM. And NAM is, they put on the trade show in January in California, and they're the big organization that all manufacturers and buyers belong to. So Yamaha is part of NAM, Korg is part of NAM. Anybody that makes anything is part of NAM. Anybody that fixes anything is part of NAM. And anybody that buys anything that's fixed and new is part of NAM. So they had a request for top 100 is a thing that they do. We won our first top 100 the first year they started, which we were pretty excited about that. 2 years later, we won Dealer of the Year. At the time, it was like, well, that's kind of cute. And now when I realize how hard that was to do, I stand back and go, okay, that's actually a pretty big deal. But it's interesting because you can't, once you've won Dealer of the Year, you can still enter and you still win top 100, but you've already gotten that trophy. That's as high as you can go. So we still enter it every year just to make top 100 because it makes for good press. This year, they had a new category, which was Best Music Education Program. And I was like, oh, that's right up our alley. So I sent in all my stuff. And I didn't go to the show in January because I had a friend recording in Nashville. So I went down with him to do that because he plays our room all the time. And I got this weird text from another dealer that's from Indiana. And he said, if you win, can I pick up the trophy? And I'm like, sure. I had no idea what he was talking about. And he was like, "You're not here." And I'm like, "No, I'm in Nashville." And he said, "Well, you've made the final top 3 for best education programs in the country." And I'm like, "Oh, I like that. I like that." Well, what's the first, second, and third prize? And he goes, "Top 3 and then 1 winner." And so he said next year. And I was like, okay. So we made top 3. We did not win the trophy, but I obviously will now aim at that target a little more seriously and make sure I get every dot in there, you know. But that was kind of cool because it helps our families understand that there's a difference. You know, it's a competitive world everywhere we go, and we wish everybody well with what they do, but we fight real hard to make sure that the families know about what our offerings are. And we have kind of an interesting takeaway. One of them is, I don't know how many people here like to read, but I got this done last year, which is a book called The New Musician. It only took 6 years to write. It was a piece of cake. But the fun thing is that's changed. Recently, we were invited by George Mason University, and they brought NAM into the discussion, and they did it online, so it was a virtual thing. So they invited my daughter. I have to laugh because a woman that's in charge of the art program said, "I'm looking for a third person. It's you. You'll go get somebody from NAM. And then we need a third person." And I said, "Okay." She goes, "Young. We need somebody young." And I'm like, okay, we got lots of those. Let me think about it. So I'm looking for all these different artists, right? And she goes, "I want a female." And I said, "Oh, okay. I can do that. Not a big deal." And we're doing the thing. She goes, "And it's virtual." And I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking, and she goes, "You are so slow." And I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "I want your daughter to do this with us, to phone in from Nashville. I don't care about you. I care about her." So she piped in, and I did the thing, and then the fellow from California did it. And because of the book, more and more stuff is starting to happen like that, where we're really getting the recognition for education that remains unique, and we intend that to be the case. But in the book, I interview a lot of fun people. I interview guys and girls that you may not know, but you would know who Glenn Campbell is. Yes, everybody knows who Glenn Campbell is? All right. So his daughter did the book. That was fun. So when we went to do that interview, it was in Nashville. She has a big house in Nashville, and she was going to meet us at a coffee house. So I'm like, okay. So her agent is like, okay, so we'll meet at the coffee house at 11:30. And I'm like, okay. So we all get up and we go, and Summer and I are sitting there, and then I get a bing, and I look down, and he goes, "Make that 12 o'clock. And I'm like, "No problem, 12:15, bing, go ahead and have some food." So bing, we have some food. And then he goes, "Hey, I hate to ping again, but she's just had her album cover, for the record and all the colors dropped to the house. Here was the question: any chance you want to go by Glenn's house? It's 2 blocks away." And then I was like, "Oh yeah, that'll be fun." So we went over there, and it was really weird. The hardest thing I've ever had to do in my entire life, I swear, true story. So we're sitting in the kitchen, and there's the front door, and there's the living room off to the side. And on the wall, as you look through, they're all Glenn's pictures from all the television stuff, the Smothers Brothers and the Glenn Campbell Hour, and they're all framed and they're all on the wall. And I wanted to see them so bad. And I thought to myself, "Can I see your dad's pictures?" And then I was like, "No, that doesn't sound good." So she had somebody knock at the door to come visit. And when she did, I just kind of stood up and just kind of looked over. And unique moment. Sometimes you got to know when not to ask, but so my daughter got to do that with us, and so she does a chapter in the book. But this has helped us get some more unique kind of traction for the store. And I guess if there's one thing I should say here is that I'm so glad to be here in Haymarket. And if there's any way we can do anything with the town other than the once a year when we do the Haymarket Day thing, we certainly would be glad to. And I'd be glad to speak with any families or do anything like that. That's, kind of service, but helps people get to know us. And the more people know us, the more they push in, the better it seems to go. So does anybody have any questions they want to ask or anything? No?
I do.
Okay.
I'll
Yes.
follow up. Joe, go.
Yep, 4410, right?
Yes.
What are your hours for 4410?
Well, since we've redone relocation, it's 12:30 to 8. Saturday, 12:30 to 5, I think, or something like that. But pretty much 6 days a week, it's open. It's a little goofy tonight before I came. So I'm actually using the stage to teach on, and we have a divider in the room, and it's worked pretty seamlessly so far. But tonight it was really crowded in there. I'm like, okay, we need to raise that up so it doesn't disturb the students. And he was like, yeah, man, it feels great in here. And I was like, I can tell it was harder for me to teach. So, yeah.
Is it like an open night, Mike, too?
We have an open mic night. I don't know if you know who Uncle Drew and the Scoundrels are. We started this a way back. Uncle Drew reached out to me right before COVID. He wanted to come in and play, and it got interrupted. And I've known about him, but I didn't really know him. And he came in and he's like, we're going to do this open mic night, and we're going to do it once a month. And if it really takes off, we'll do it twice a month. He said, I'm emceeing, you're enjoying. You don't have to do anything. And I was like, okay. And then last week he did a weird thing. He said, my drummer can't show. And I said, okay. And he goes, I know it's only 3 days, but can you learn 11 songs? We don't have charts. You just have to do it by memory. And then I was like, wow. Yeah, I guess I could do that. I haven't tried that in a while, but it's pretty funny. So a little concentration entered the discussion. He took me down to Nashville about 2 months ago. He called me up and he said, I've already got the flight booked, already got the room done. I'm doing 2 days in the studio and you are going to be there. And I was like, oh, okay. And so they had at the Frisk, they had the McCartney, the photo thing where McCartney found 2 rolls or 2 big canisters of film that was pictures from the early Beatle years. And now they've got it as a traveling museum show. So we get in and I get all tucked in and I call my kid and I said, we're here. She goes, good, meet us at the Frisk. And I'm like, what are we doing? She goes, McCartney's layout is there and we're just going to go walk around. So it was heaven. Now who has a kid that calls them up and say, stop what we're doing. We're going to go to a museum. I was like, oh my God. So he got introduced to my kid that way. She's like, hey, nice to see you. Come over here. So kind of fun, but weird to have in Nashville. My daughter's down in Nashville and that's an open discussion we have all the time. And so that keeps us kind of very aware of what the trends are and where they're going and all that stuff. She works at a very unique guitar place down there. So it's Bruno Mars customer, weird. Just down, yeah, Bruno's in here. He's short. I asked her, I said, how was Bruno? Was he nice? She goes, entourage and short. I said, is in behavior? No, she said he's like 5'2". So funny stuff. But anyway, that's what we do. And I'm certainly glad to share more. Yes, ma'am.
I was just going to say, so one of my favorite groups pairs, I should say, that has come out of CMC is the
Yeah.
Thistle Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
So local. Can you name a couple others for us?
Well,
Because
it's
I know
interesting
we
that
have a
you,
couple.
so was it last night or night before? It was Sunday. Paul Thistle and not Saberni, that's the first wife, second wife, were having dinner. And they texted me and they said, time for a beer. We're in town. And I got to catch up with him, which was really good. And he was telling me they have a couple labels looking at them. And so, you don't really talk about that a whole lot till the contracts land. But apparently they're doing some big stuff. Who else has come out? Well, Celia Campbell came out. She's kind of a little local rock and roll star. She's got a contract with a label down in Nashville. They haven't really released that information yet, but I know that's coming. And then, of course, my daughter's fiance is an artist, and he's got a lot of stuff out. Summer works at a really interesting place down there. She works at Carter Vintage Guitars. So when I went down in September, they have a festival, and everybody in this room should stop what they're doing the last week in September and go down to the Pilgrimage Festival. It's in Franklin, and it's inexpensive and it's amazing, and nobody knows about it. So there are about 8,000 people on this big old horse farm. And when Summer started going to school down there, we started doing that. So when I was down for that in September. She said, meet me at the store. And I hadn't seen the new location. He moved from a very iconic building to this new thing. And I thought, why would you ever leave a perfect location? You know, this is such a neat little thing. Why would you move across the street? So I got down. She said, meet me there. And I went to go in and I'm like, where's the damn entrance? And so, not recording this, are they? I went, so you had to go underneath. And underneath this building is a coffee house. And it's all outside and it's open. And coffee's like $11, right? And it's packed. It's packed because it's all this bougie sandwich and bougie coffee and all this other stuff. So I'm like, okay. So I meander into the new store and I'm like, I guess it's going to be okay. And I had my entire head removed off my body. This guy has built this new thing that is insane. It's so big. And you walk in and it's like, oh my gosh. So where you go just to go in is about the size of this. And I had the bookkeeper. When I saw her, she turned to me and said, I'm still here. I said, cool. She goes, don't leave without talking to me. I said, okay. So she pulls me aside and she goes, it's all good. Everything's good. Your daughter's rocking. I said, good. She goes, old Carter. I said, yeah. She goes, best year, 7 million. And my eyes get wide because I'm like, best year? Yeah. And she goes, this year, new location? I said, yeah. She goes, we're tracking for 33. And I was like, damn, do they need like a drum guy to do anything down here? So it's just really weird. The guy takes me in the back room and he goes, you're Summer's dad. And I said, yeah. He goes, I got the book. Come on. And so we go in the back and he's just talking while he's fixing this red Les Paul. And finally goes, here, man, check it out. Go to play it. And I said, man, I'm a drummer, dude. I love it. It's very pretty. He goes, really pretty. 350 grand. And I said, it's a guitar. He goes, some people look at it like a house.
Yeah.
He said, it's sold. That should tell you something. So just goofy stuff, fun. But we try to incorporate all of those stories into our store. And we're very blessed and we know it. So anything we can do to help the community or whatever else. And you asked me a specific question. You said anybody else. So Sela, my kid down in Nashville is an experience. The Thistle Brothers have done unique stuff. Alex Williams would be the other one. So Alex, they're from Haymarket. Dad still lives in Haymarket. Alex plays for Forrest Frank. Does anybody know who Forrest Frank is? Yeah, I went. So Forrest was playing over in Chevy Chase at one of the hotshot clubs. And he said, hey, I'm in town. I'm going to ride with my parents. Come with us. And I said, okay. So we went over and I didn't know what to expect. I thought 300 or 400 people, 5,000 people, no place to go, just nowhere to do except stand. So we were behind because we were his guests and place packed, people going crazy. What's really weird is I have a little student who's about 8 years old. And I said, so who's your favorite? And the kid turned to me and went, Forrest Frank. And I said, shut up. And he said, no, Forrest Frank. So I said, well, I happen to be really good friends with their guitarist. And he goes, no. So I text Alex and I said, we're going to do a thing where you talk to the kid online so he can say. So, and then I showed him pictures of him playing with guitar up in the air and everything. The kid's lost his mind. So about a month later, I said, now, who's your favorite music? He goes, I'm the Forrest Frank kid. So that's Alex has done really well. I don't know if you remember the Vega family, Lauren Vega. She's down. She works oddly enough with Summer. So they got a crony thing. She got down. She was looking for a job. Summer said, look no farther. Got her hired. She's down there and a lot of kids go to Belmont. The Benakovics, Joe was with us. He went down to school down there. So a lot of kids go to Belmont. Some stay. So they either go to Berkeley, they go to Belmont, or they go to California. But it's weird. And most of them keep in touch with me. My favorite Thistle story is a weird one. It's 3 a.m. in the morning. And I keep my phone in my bed because I have a daughter in another state. And the rule is that the phone never leaves the bed because you never know, right? So it's 3 a.m. in the morning and my phone dings. And I'm like, what in the heck? And I go to open it up, and it's Cam Thistle. And he goes, check the video. I'm losing my mind. And when he first came in, he was big into Guns N' Roses. When he left, I had crawled in his brain enough that it was Stevie Wonder and all kinds of good stuff like that. So he goes, we're at a house party at a record label, and Stevie had to be 13 feet in front of him, and he's playing piano. He just sat down and started playing. So Cam's filming it, and you can tell he's filming it because he's shaking. He's so nervous. And he said, yeah, man, I don't know if I get to meet him or not, but 13 feet is good. And I'm like, I know it's 3 a.m. in the morning here. You think it's midnight, but that's a really cool story. So when those are the calls, you're like, hey, and they do, a lot of kids do cool things. I got a kid up in New York that ended up working for the Collective as a teacher, Dave Prevy. And just recently he built a studio in his house. So Ron's local in Haymarket. So they fly off, but they don't stay out of touch. And we really like that.
Well, you're an amazing teacher, amazing person. I'm
Thank
so
you.
happy that you're a part of
Thank you.
this community. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I am too. Appreciate that. You guys have been kind to let me speak. And anybody that, has a question or anything, just don't hesitate to ask me because I love to talk, as you can see. I'm going to sit and watch the rest.
Thank you, Minzy. Can you have Justin sign the paper, please? No, you're fine. You're fine. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to now move on to citizens' time. So anyone wishing to address the town council, please come to the podium stating your name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Chuck Burge. I moved to Haymarket several years ago. And this, for you that have been here a while and remember, there's a little store, Alan Gossam. Alan Gossam was a video store. You just came in on a Friday night, picked up a video, took it home, brought it back, and so on. So I moved here in 1990. So I've been in Haymarket for 35 years. I have a small business. I'm a car guy. I do restoration and appraisal work. So I've had the business since 1990 in Haymarket. Anyway, the reason I'm here, you've all heard, has anybody here not heard of Willing Warrior Retreat at Bull Run? That's what I wanted to see. I wanted to make sure you all knew what's going on. Anyway, we have a car show coming up. We've gone from July to May 16th, and it's Vets for Willing Warriors. And we accept other cars besides Corvettes, Mustangs. Just as long as it's got four wheels, we'd love to have you. Last year, we had about 250 cars, probably about 200 Corvettes and antique cars and so on and so forth. This year, we're expecting, we try and top it every year. The Haymarket's higher and higher. Anyway, it's May 16th. We'd love to have you here. We have the sponsors or the vendors we have are all veteran oriented. We don't sell the nice little cutie t-shirts and stuff like that. That's for other places. But we are very strongly veteran oriented. I have the pleasure of serving on the board at Willing Warrior Retreat. And that's my passion. I was in the service for 6 years, U.S. Army. Anyway, May 16th, put that date, write that down, cast that in concrete. If, God forbid, it rains, we'll shift to June 6th. But anyway, if you have any, I'm going to leave some flyers out here and some sponsor forms. If you feel like you really want to donate and help the cause, we appreciate everything. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you.
Yes, May 16th.
At what time? What time?
Oh, I'm sorry. 10 o'clock for the public. There's no charge for public. The cars, a lot of them pre-register ahead of time, and that's 25 and 30 the day of the show, but free. We'll have food up there, and the food is provided by Knights of Columbus here in Haymarket. Okay, we're all and, Legion, everybody else like that. Love to have you there. Thank you very much.
Thank
Chuck
you.
won't toot his own horn, but Haymarket has a nationally renowned Corvette judge. He's one of the premier Corvette
Oh, wow.
judges in the world, flies all over the world to judge Corvettes, to help people make their purchases and so forth. So we're lucky to have Chuck.
my wife, you're my biggest fan.
Very humble man. We're very fortunate to have Chuck.
What's the date again?
May 16th.
May 16th location?
You know where the retreat is, Waterfall Road?
Warriors.
Oh,
Here's my
it's a
chart.
Willing Warriors retreat.
That'll tell you everything you need to know.
Okay.
Right. Awesome. Thank you so much. right.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else?
I think there's a theme with the name. My name is Chuck as well. I'm Chuck Leonard. I've also been in the town a long time. In fact, my parents moved us into the town in 1972. So I grew up here. Been here since the beginning. Probably several of you, many of you know my mother, Dottie Leonard, who was spent many years on the town council and ARB, and is very intimately involved in having the things like the brick sidewalks and the colonial look and feel to the town. She was intimately involved in all of that. In 2001, she and my father had the opportunity to move into the house on 14801 Washington Street, which is for sale right now, right across from the Baptist church. They restored the house. The plan was to make it a bed and breakfast and also use it for weddings. And, that they worked several years restoring it. 2010, my father passed away. 2012, my mother got sick and basically spent the rest of her life, not quite well, and the house fell into disrepair. She passed away 2 years ago, almost to the day. And my sister and I have been working to sell the house. We've had it on the market for about 18 months or so, off and on. It's on the market now, as you know, and we've been looking for ways to generate some income in the short term from that house. Not using the actual building itself, because the building needs a lot of repairs. But we're looking at opportunities to use the land, maybe rent space for different things. The house has been it's been a financial drain, since my mother passed. We had to pay, started with a 6-figure tax bill, for example, and still paying the routine taxes, all the maintenance of the grounds and so forth. Even though we've got some opportunity there still, but had pipes burst in the house. We had to fix the roof, temporary fixes just to be able to put it on the market, and so it's been a financial drain. Thought of an idea that I could possibly use for the house, which is food trucks. I was thinking, it's got the long, big circle drive. Maybe we could do a nice version of a food truck park and have several trucks, on either side of the driveway. And met with Lydia a few weeks ago and found out that food trucks were permitted. And then I got about 5 minutes away after learning that food trucks were permitted, and got a phone call that said, wait a minute, we had an ordinance from last year where food trucks are not permitted unless it's part of a winery or a brewery or distillery. I will say a little side note, my mother always said, I tell you, if anything is involving a brewery or a winery, it will get approved. I cannot stand it. She fought everyone tooth and nail. But anyway, so long story short, here I am today. I have a request to get at least a temporary, temporarily allow us to put food trucks on the property. And I have a bit of a rendering here. I don't know if I can approach, and you all already have this? Yeah. Awesome. I made some copies. Some food trucks on either side of of the driveway. Also has, you see some tents there. Another thing we thought about doing was partnering, using what's the word I'm looking for? Flea market, with perhaps many different vendors that might be able to come there as well. And that would at least temporarily allow us to earn some rental income with the property without using the house itself. This would be, I was going to request a 1-year exception. And if we sell the house in 6 months, then fine, it's over. But if we're still, trying to sell it because it is zone B1, commercial property, takes a little longer to sell. We've had some interest. A lot of people, across the nation have been interested, even in Canada. But people are wanting something for nothing as well. So we're not necessarily wanting to rush ourselves into selling this thing. So being able to generate income would enable us to, at least maintain what we're doing. We would do some additional landscaping, cleaning up on the whole right side of the house, especially where there's a lot of overgrowth and things of that nature, just to make it a little better. We thought that this whole effort would actually bring more people to the town at that property, and perhaps there'd be some business income generated and revenue generated for the town as well through doing this on a temporary basis. And you may find that it's something that the town is beneficial and the town wants to continue in another fashion, another location, even after we've sold our property. So that's it. Just wanted to throw that out for you all. Appreciate the consideration, the time, for sure. And, hope you'll see it our way and give us your blessing.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I
Thank
would
you.
encourage a continued conversation with staff.
Okay, will do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pam, do we have any emails? Thank you.
Your sister, that's my wife's here.
Oh, yeah.
Can't remember. They live right next to us.
All right, so we're going to move on to the consent agenda. So we're now on pages 3 to 51. Is there anyone wishing to pull any reports? I look to my right, and then I look to my left. Are we good? Do you have something, Alex?
Sure. The engineering report.
Okay.
Oh, that's part of the town admin report.
The town admin? Okay, so we're pulling the town admin report. Can I get an approval?
I second the motion.
Are you specifically the town engineer report number 4, or are you referencing number 1? Because there are 2 different.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yep, nope.
it says here, it says engineering report 1/2/28/26 through 2/25/26. Is that that's what it is? Number 4, yeah.
4.
Okay.
Okay. So I have a motion to a second?
A motion to open that up.
Yes.
What item was that?
Number 4.
Number 4.
B4.
B4.
Would you like me to move to approve the rest of the consent agenda first and then do the? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Madam Mayor, I move that the Haymarket Town Council adopt item 7, consent agenda A1, 2, B 1, 2, 3, and 5, and C 1 through 5.
A motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, and then we'll go ahead and pull the engineer report.
Yes.
What questions did you have, Alexander?
Emily, quickly here, I see a couple of updates in relation to Crossroads Village. Hotel preliminary plan, it looks like there was a meeting on February 19th. And also retail preliminary plan, same thing, meeting on the 2/19. Are there any updates?
I'm actually going to pass the mic over to Lydia since she's here tonight. She was part of that meeting. So I'm going to let her cover that.
42.
42.
Here, give me that one.
Oh, yeah, maybe I'll just do that. So this is regarding the meeting with the CVC Hotel and Retail. Yes, so Katie and I met with the developers and the builders for the hotel and the retail that's going in over the newly opened Kitty Academy. It's actually the biggest thing that we actually learned is that it's going to happen in 2 phases. The hotel itself, the company that's actually going to go into that hotel has their own internal review system. So that's going to take much longer. So the retail will come first. And to do that retail first, they have to build out a large section of the parking that was previously attached to the hotel. So Katie and I are working with them to make sure that as they're opening that retail, when those plans come in for preliminary review, that the parking is included so that there is adequate parking for this retail space before the hotel goes in. In terms of the hotel itself, the plans that they're looking at are 6 stories. 6 stories, yeah, which is under a previous SUP that was granted for them. The build out is still months ahead, like there's a long time coming for this. And I'm trying to think if is there anything else. Katie and I will be following up with them again in about 2 or 3 weeks just to see if they've made any more progress on it.
Did they give any indication in terms of number of rooms or?
They actually decreased the number of rooms that they previously had mentioned to us. When they went up to 6 stories, they actually ended up decreasing the number of rooms. I will have to follow up on an email with that one. I don't know it off the top of my head. But they ended up decreasing the number of rooms so that they could have a larger foyer and larger rooms on the actual floors.
In terms of the timeline that you provided, you said it's months away.
Mhm.
Is that also the same for the retail?
The retail, we anticipate it to go in sooner. So instead of, like 18, 24 months, it's, 15, 18 months potentially. Yeah. So still a long time out, but the retail will definitely come before the hotel at this point. And they're anticipating it, they're calling it phase 1 and phase 2. So the hotel is actually phase 1 and the retail is phase 2, but it's a little bit backwards because they've written the plans for the hotel first. So they have the time for that internal review, but the retail is going to be put in first. In terms of what is in that retail, that is still up in the air. We do not know at this time.
Thank you.
Can I ask a follow-up?
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm a little confused about how this is going to look. Are we talking ground floor retail attached to the hotel? Is it separate? How is that going to look?
So they are 2 separate buildings.
Okay.
You know where the Kitty Academy currently sits?
Yes.
So basically there's going to be, I want to say 2 floors of retail that sits adjacent to it as a secondary building. And then there will be parking that separates the retail from the hotel behind it. And then you will see the 6 floors of the hotel.
Okay. Do you have a sense of the square footage of this retail versus the hotel yet?
Not yet. They haven't submitted a formal preliminary plan for the retail yet, which is another thing that Katie and I are working on them with because just this meeting is when they told us that they were going to submit it as 2 separate things. And that was when we told them they had to submit a plan for the retail so they can account for the parking that's coming in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I appreciate that. That's a great answer. I understand that. How does that, and maybe this is a question for our town manager since she's been around and was involved, I think, with the SUP. How does that fit with the SUP? I thought it was the approval just for the 6th floor building. I wasn't sure if there was space for a second structure in that.
Yeah.
So I've just pulled the map up so Lydia can point there to where that area right there is going to be where the proposed retail structure is going to go. And then that area right there is the hotel. So let me identify real quick the parcel lines. That'll make it a little bit easier to visualize. So right here, that area that's highlighted in this light blue, that is the hotel pad site. And then the retail portion is the remainder of this small area here that butts right up against the Kitty Academy. And then,
So that's a by right?
This is a by right,
Okay,
yes.
all right, got it.
I'm mentioning them simultaneously because when everything will be built out, the shared parking will go through right here. So you won't be able to tell that they're two parcels, but they are.
Understood.
and that Spine Road, right where you can see the light blue highlighted where the end of Crossroads Village Boulevard is, kind of right there, it terminates and then turns up into Chick-fil-A. That will continue back to the west there into the hotel pad site. So that main road will continue to track and has always been planned as such to go right into here. The other one item of note, and Lydia might have already mentioned this, there is one additional small parcel there that is also possibly being looked at for a retail pad site.
It is the same developer or same owner who's building out these. He is looking to purchase this one as well and put something in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. I
Yeah.
understand it now. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Good question.
Anything else? No? All right. So Kim, I believe we need to do a roll call vote for acceptance. No, just the ayes are good.
You're now going to
Close out.
do the consent,
Mhm.
approve the consent agenda, the B
Okay, perfect.
before, then it doesn't have to be a roll call.
Okay,
No.
thank you. I just wanted clarification. So do I have a motion to approve the pooled report from the consent agenda?
Go ahead, Ken.
Okay, let me get back to the front page so I know what number it is. What number was that? Okay.
B4.
B4.
Yeah, I move that we accept the town engineer report consent agenda B4 as approved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, so moving forward, without objection, I'd like to add the adoption of the revised strategic plan to the agenda. I'd like for this to be item 2 and FY budget 27 presentation move to item 3.
So that is
No objection.
Thank you.
objection.
So our first item on the agenda is resolution number 2026-003, the adoption of the town's investment policy. Roberto, is there anything additional you'd like to add before we take action?
No, aside just that, this adoption has been reviewed by the town attorney, and he was okay with it. So it is up to council if they choose to adopt it tonight. But nothing overall has changed on the policy or anything. It was just a matter of actually going through the proper process of adopting it.
Okay.
If council wishes to do so.
I know we spoke about this last week. Did anybody have any additional questions, concerns? No?
Do not.
All right. Then are we ready to the draft motion?
Where's the
Joe.
draft motion?
Right here.
Oh, okay.
It's, yep.
Yep.
Joe was gonna,
No, Ken can do it.
Okay.
He's-
oh, you want to do it? Ken?
Mayor,
Thank you. I'm sorry. I had talked to them before.
Okay.
Apologize.
I move that the town of Haymarket Council adopt resolution 2026-003, Town of Haymarket Investment Policy as presented.
I'll second.
So we have a motion and a second?
I second.
Thank you. Okay. That has voting open.
Oh, wait a minute. I gotta turn that on.
Get to that page, refresh.
Let's see if I'm a Luddite or not.
Last.
Yes, success.
As long as the attorney is okay with it.
I was
I'm
just,
okay with
you're
it.
right. Does he know?
It's really well done. Well, I just want you to be okay with it. I'm happy with it.
Three votes are in. Gallagher, yay. Baker, yay. Vienna, yay. Larson, yay. Casanello, yay. Capicella, yay.
Awesome. Thank you very much. All right, so our second item, now that we've revised the agenda, is the adoption of the revised strategic plan. There's a draft resolution and a motion at the dais. Emily, do you have anything?
Yes, I'll just make a couple notes. First, our apologies. This one, we somehow missed it in the agenda. So our apologies for not having it attached in there. I just wanted to recap the changes we had discussed last week. I have modified the values so that in the second column, second box down, it states community driven. That changed from just community to community driven. At the bottom of each page, there has been an added footnote that states that it is amended through February 27th of 2026, following a strategic planning work session on November 1st of 2025. I've modified the language in goal number 3.4 that now reads as maintain annual reporting on Valepsi 4-year term certification as reflected in chief's request. And then on our last page, the priorities table has been cleaned up to remove the ranking number. So we just have the scoring number. I apologize. We have the priority ranking number. The scores have been removed. And then the two little footnotes that we had reflecting the current work status of priority number 1 and priority number 2 have also been removed from this document. So unless there's any other final edits or changes that council sees, we've not had any additional public comment on this. And so I would go ahead and recommend the approval and the readoption of our strategic plan. We will share it out there, get it re-uploaded on the website and everything accordingly, and then continue to track it in our administrative report each month.
Do we have any questions, comments in regards to the revisions? Nope.
Just one thing here, as we do these things, we make sure that we're tracking it, so that if anybody
Yes.
asks within the town, we can say, we're 70% completed with this, 25% complete with this, just.
Absolutely. So I'll be tracking the initiatives in the administrative report. There's a section there that we can tag the goals and what work we're doing and how it lines up with the strategic plan. And then I also keep a working document. So annually, as we're going through it month to month, I'm adding notes in that working document so that hopefully after each October kind of time frame, Haymarket Day, right after that, we tend to get together and talk about it again in a more thorough work session.
I almost kind of do this like it's a project plan. We're kind of just checking off things as we go. Okay.
Absolutely.
And it helps to be able to speak to them at like farmers markets and
Absolutely.
anything that we're collectively at. All right.
Any other comments? Okay, if not, there's a resolution that you guys have.
So are we ready to act?
Madam Mayor, I have a motion.
Go ahead.
No, please.
Okay, I move that the Haymarket Town Council adopt resolution 2026-004, Town of Haymarket revised strategic plan as presented.
I second.
All right, so I have a motion and a second.
Okay, try it. Refresh.
Refresh and vote.
Okay, 2 for 2.
Do we need to read in resolution 2026-004?
I think you should.
Would you like to read it in?
Read it again.
Would you like to read the resolution in?
I didn't know I was signing up for that.
You have been
Okay, resolution 2026-004, whereas the Town of Haymarket Town Council held a strategic planning meeting with Dr. Stephanie Davis from Virginia Tech on November 6, 2024, and whereas the Town Council adopted the strategic plan at their regularly monthly meeting on December 2nd, 2024, and whereas the town council held a follow-up strategic planning meeting with Dr. Davis for a 1-year in review on November 1st, 2025, and whereas the town council and staff completed several of the initiatives from the adopted strategic plan, and whereas the town council and staff amended the initiatives to best reflect the goals of council moving forward, and whereas the town council asked for public input by holding a special citizens' time at their work section on February 2nd, 2026, and whereas the town council asked for comments from the planning commission and architectural review board, and whereas the town council made final edits to the strategic plan at their monthly work session on February 23rd, 2026. Now therefore be it resolved that the town of Haymarket Town Council adopts the revised strategic plan at their regularly monthly meeting on March 2nd, 2026, adopted the second day of March 2026.
Motion was made by Mr. Vignani, seconded by Mr. Gerson, and the votes are Gallagher, yay, Baker, yay, Vignani, yay, Gerson, yay, Martinello, yay, Papisello, yay.
Thank you.
Yay.
All right, so next we're moving to the presentation of the FY27 draft budget. Emily?
Yes, and I'm going to pass out a clean copy. I apologize, there was a typo that Roberto wanted to fix. He also made it very legible for you on big paper.
I say 11 when I get these.
Emily, do you want to turn the lights down so we can- so they can see?
Thank you.
Oh, good. It's big font.
Reading glasses not necessary.
I need them to see the numbers up there. Did everybody get one? Mr. Passanello. Can you guys up there still read it okay? Okay. Is that better? Do you guys want to wait till Mr. Passanello comes back?
Oh, wait just a few minutes.
Yes. Okay.
And here we go.
So this evening, we are presenting the proposed draft fiscal year 2026-2027 budget for council's review. So a little bit of a discussion on our timeline. We will be going through this budget line by line at our next work session at the end of March. So I invite everyone watching and our citizens, residents to come in and listen to that or listen from the comfort of their home. We will take it nice and slow that evening. It will be a long evening based on everything else we have in our agenda. So I would say maybe bring snacks, be prepared, because we want to spend plenty of time with this budget and all of the details that we've worked to put into it. So Roberto, myself, and Chief have worked quite a bit on this. Roberto really started us off in the fall timeframe to bring you what you have here today. So jumping right in, Kim, I'll let you click ahead as we go. Go ahead. So some of the big budget highlights that we're continuing to work on, financial accountability. So not only have we been working through the different policies to allow us to be more accountable, put safeguards into place, protect our funds, but we're also continuing to do that and show it in a very transparent method to our taxpayers. We're working to continue the support of our different services that we offer to all of our residents, and also ensure that everything that we say we're going to do, we can fully fund and sustain for years to come. Some of those essential services continue to include our 24/7 police services and public safety, our trash and recycling, which is certainly a big feat all on its own with how those prices are raising, our community events and advertising promotions that we are working on, our town administration staff. We're continuing to work towards our long-term planning. That would also include our investments in our own infrastructure, to include here at the town center with our town center project, as well as our community park and what we're planning there. We are also still working to support sustainable town growth and how that looks for our future. Our revenue and expenditure management, still working to provide those balanced budgets with smart debt-free investments, and then ensure our long-term financial health. Also, while taking into the economic stability of supporting our local businesses and Haymarket. This is just an updated snapshot of Haymarket. So we do like to provide this snapshot each year as we go into our budget season, so that council and our residents understand when we are looking at the town as a whole, who that is. So right now, I think there's probably still a little question about what the census data says, but our population right now is slated at 1,611. That's the most recent 2025 population estimate. Our median age is 38.2 years. Our median household income is $174,000. High school graduate or higher degree rate in this area in the town is 96.6%. Bachelor's or higher is 53.5%. To the right on the table, you will have Prince William County as a whole. So considerations, I apologize, it's a little small on the presentation screen, but I'll run through them. Considerations we have for FY27 budget is maintaining the town real estate tax rate of 0.0098 per $100. Address the increase in the trash and recycling contract services. Fund the replacement of one police cruiser. This is in keeping with our replacement plan that we have. Fund the 5-year capital improvement plan. Propose a 2.8% COLA and 3% merit program for employee retention. I do just want to make a note here, this does not take into consideration your current project with a compensation study. Address a 22.7% increase in our health insurance premiums. Fund the purchase of the replacement of a maintenance truck, and continue to provide exceptional professional services to our residents and businesses alike. You know, council's very well aware of our town boundary lines, but again, for our residents or citizens who may be watching, we are a half square mile town. And so we have our boundary lines that end at the Sheets intersection with CVS right there at Route 15. We end on the east side at the QBE property, or as others might know of it as the Cookies and Cream property, and the edge of Green Hill Crossing at Green Hill Crossing Drive. North, we end just on the other side of the 66 bridge along Walter Robinson Lane and Jordan Lane. And at the south side, we end just beyond the railroad track that runs along Jefferson Street or Old Carolina. We have here in red the major neighborhoods. We will be adding to it the Robinson Paradise one. Now it's fully built out. But these are our HOA neighborhoods that you see depicted here. And then amongst a lot of our commercial zones and along Jefferson and Fayette Street, we have additional residential single-family homes. Town services and programs that we currently offer and will continue to do so with this budget. our community park. And this year we'll be working very heavily towards getting that park fully engineered and designed out. And then in hopes in a year from now, we'll be having the same conversation, but about how we can fund the construction of that project. Our public safety services, so everything that Chief Seibert's over there doing in the police department and continues to do and build upon. Our community events, to include Haymarket Day and all of the smaller scale events that we offer, such as our government open house days, our holiday events, our farmers market, our trash and recycling. This does come up a lot in budget, but I think that everyone sitting up there fully understands that this is a very big part of our budget and a major service that we do offer our community. Our newly added town app and other communication outreach. Our crime prevention going hand in hand with our public safety services, as well as our pedestrian safety. As I touched on previously, this process has been going on now for probably about 5 months for staff internally. So Roberta really started with the numbers back in October and got with Chief and I and started discussing what is at the top of our to-do list when it comes to things we want to accomplish in this budget, as well as what did council want to see. So we've been having these conversations of recent weekly in the finance liaison meetings for the month of February. We also reached out and had discussions with council during our strategic planning session and through other communications to send in budget requests. So we went through a lengthy discussion and worked through what revenues were looking like coming in. Roberto utilized the past years as trends and then continued to work from there. We also were referencing the completed town audits in that discussion. Again, I apologize, this is a little bit small on our presentation screen. So this is very much our draft capital improvement plan. We are taking it to the Planning Commission next week at the Planning Commission meeting on March 10th. We will discuss with them future plans, and we are still trying to get a more accurate depiction of what we want to see in that last fifth year of 2030, 2031, based on projects that we see coming down the pipeline and discussions we have through this budget season. You will see that we have under the police department here, the purchasing of the vehicle in FY 26-27. You'll have a gap year, and then we get back into the cycle of replacement vehicles. Chief is also accommodated for his other police equipment and service equipment that's needed. A little bit more detail on our capital improvement plans. So we are working on the town center site plan with that turn lane on Jefferson Street. So last week we heard from our financial advisors. We are looking in this budget cycle to go ahead and make momentum and make moves to go ahead and get the funding secured and move forward with that in the FY 27 budget. We will reflect our plan to meet those numbers as well. We're working on the engineering of our community park, so we are hoping to award that contract and start work and the expenditure on the engineering phase, design phase. We want to continue to improve the walkability. I will say this most recent snowstorm, we did see a little bit more damage on our sidewalks, just how much snow and ice came down and how it had to be removed. So I do think that this one thing with sidewalk maintenance is going to take a little bit more of a priority this upcoming budget year. Going hand in hand with our improved walkability and streetscape is expanding the beautification efforts along our public spaces. This is something that we have been adding to slowly over the last couple years and has been very well received across our residents and general public alike. As mentioned, we'll be continuing with the police department vehicle replacement program, the funding for their equipment to include their dash cams, body cams, And then we are also looking at replacing the maintenance truck. Its time has come. We got some really good years out of that one, especially based on, I think, the price they picked it up for. So we're trying to do what we can to figure out what the needs are there and how we go about funding that. As mentioned, Roberto takes a look at the past 5 years of revenue to assess trends. He documents this in the different graphs that he'll present through our budget discussions and conversations, as well as some here in this presentation. He works on the 5-year average of each of the revenue categories aside from the real estate assessments. Real estate is based off the assessments and trends, and it is beginning to show signs of leveling out. We have talked about this in future past conversations. And then we go off of what those numbers say, what the trends show, and we try to give a conservative but accurate projection. And then again, we had weekly meetings in February with finance liaisons, and we feel pretty confident that these are going to be our final projections of revenue. I am not going to read this line for line, but this is the proposed budget revenues. And so some of the major highlights that you'll see there is a 4.6% increase in the general property tax, 6.3% increase in other local taxes. This is, for those of you who are more familiar with the more breakdown and different line items, this is the generalized summary of those revenues. There is a decrease right now in the rental, the use of property. So we are hopeful that by the time we get through more discussions of this budget season, that we will be able to modify that and show the rental of the old post office building being included back into the budget. That is actively being worked on. And then you'll have some other adjustments accordingly. So total revenue down here at the very bottom line, left column, 4,488,607. Can you go back? Sorry. That was for the adopted FY26 budget. Our amended FY26 budget, 4,617,177. And then our proposed budget for FY27, 7,486,765. Again, we have had the conversations regarding the ARPA funds, how those are broken out. The development funds, those are the proffer funds that were received during the different development neighborhoods that came in 2019 through 2023. And then you also have that capital improvement funds that was separated as well. And then in here, you also have on the bottom line, the loan proceeds. Oops, sorry. This is a graph depicting, gets a little busy with the different sections here. And then we are on to our expenditures. So it is showing a balanced budget. You will see running down the right side column here, the amount that has changed. The next column line in from the right is the percentage changed. And then the middle column here is our proposed FY27 budget in comparison to our previous. So administration, there is a 12.8% change. Public safety, it's showing a negative 3.4% change. There have been some modifications in what's being requested there, but overall there is that. The next biggest one, you'll see community development, and then you'll have non-departmental. You'll have your pie graph reflecting. Here is the history of the real estate tax assessments and tax rates. So this is going to be your comparison to Prince William County tax rate. You will see that we are starting to see things level off. And again, we are requesting to maintain the real estate tax rates at 0.00098. Are there any questions on this slide in regards to tax rate?
I didn't know if you wanted us to interrupt or not.
Oh, please.
When it comes to revenue, have you assessed or reviewed, let me get the item here. This expenditures, one more, sorry. Here we go. Permits, fees, and licenses, and make sure they're in alignment with,
Yes, thank you for asking that. We did discuss that at the finance liaison meeting. So what we're looking at is right now, everything is aligning where it should be. A lot of our engineering fees are pass-through fees, and then our current permit fees are working to cover. It doesn't cover everything that's done when it comes to the different permits, but we are accounting for all of our outside review fees to include town attorney review fees, engineering consultant review fees. We are not looking to make any major permitting changes. We are trying to ensure that for our residents, it is still very affordable to apply for those permits. The last thing we want to do is increase the permit fees significantly where they stop applying, and then we get into more of a reactive kind of situation where we're going after them for not having the permits. So staff feels very confident in how everything is tracking right now with permitting. We are watching what the county is doing. I do know that the county is proposing some increases down there with building department permitting and what they're doing for land use permitting. But again, we're pretty confident in how it's tracking for us. A lot of the things that are coming in are going to be those bigger site plans. They have bigger fees anyway that are helping to address staff time towards those projects. If there's any other questions on previous slides, feel free to ask. I'm sorry, I meant to say you could interrupt me, and I can also tap Roberto in if you have any specific Roberto questions. Or Chief.
I do have one question, and it is to you, Chief. In the budget, it's 128K for a new cruiser. That's fully kitted out, electronics, everything.
That would be two.
Okay.
Yes. And that would be all the build out is included in that.
Okay. Okay, that's what I want to make sure of. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions on slides past? Roberto, do you want to make any comments on the real estate assessments and those trends that you've been working on?
If you just go to the next page, Kim. So what I have presented here is something we started doing, I think, 2 years ago, which is giving kind of scenarios on the proposed staff recommended rate versus what it would look like at different rates, equalized included and equalized plus inflation. This year, obviously, the big conversation has been about the execution finally of the new town center project. With that being said, that is kind of the reason why we're also recommending for maintaining a flat tax rate, which was still though show an increase due to assessments. On this page, you'll see on the average, it's taking some of the averages. A single family home on average, you'll see a $22 increase on the town tax versus last year. And on single family homes, $22, and the townhomes will be $20. Only thing I could say is also remember that this tax also covers the trash service, which we see a 4% at most, a 4% increase. But this graph just kind of wants to show, well, this graph is there to show what it will look like at different stages. But if we all remember too, when we had the financial analysis last week, kind of goes on par to what they were stating, that the next 5 years they see on average a increase of 4.1%, I believe, on the real estate side on revenue. So it's consistent to what they're also analyzing at the time. Yeah, I don't know if there's any specific questions on this.
Quick question.
Yes.
Tax rate on this sheet is 0.98, but on the previous sheet, it's 0.000.
I just noticed that that was a typo. Good catch. I will correct that. But yes, it's 0.098.
I was
It's
thinking, well,
correct.
we really dropped taxes on tax, going from a tenth of a percent.
No, that is on me. That's a typo.
Okay.
But the correct one is 0.098. That is what will be, that is what's current, and that is what will be noticed out for the public hearing.
Anything else?
Yeah, Roberto, quick question. I see that for the proposed budget, we are allocating 743,664 from profit funds.
What page?
443,664 is going to Parks and Rec. What, the
The other-
remaining 300,000, where is that going?
So I apologize. I think we had talked this in a while in finance, but 300,000 comes from the proposed estimate of when we had I am losing the vendor that did the estimated cost for the project.
Downey Scott.
Yes, thank you. Downey Scott said that on the turn lane, they estimate about $300,000 needed. So we are hoping to use 300,000 out of the 400 that we have in transportation to address that portion for the turn lane.
And that's for right here, for those listening, that's the intersection of Washington and Jefferson Street. So we are trying to offset this project funding since we are doing a large portion of transportation work in the VDOT right-of-way on the turn lane to include the sidewalk, improvements to the crosswalk area there. So we are trying to put transportation funds towards that.
And can you or Roberto talk to why there is a decrease for the police in comparison to last year, if you don't mind?
Yes. So one of the things we changed is in prior years, we always had our reserve funds together with our general funds. This past year, I'm just trying to clean up the budget, make it more streamlined. We went ahead and when I requested for the capital funds to be set aside specifically to address capital projects, we now have those funds separated from the general funds. With that being said, because the police items we're looking to purchase in the CIP are CIP items, we want to address it that way to keep them separate. But when it comes to the CAFRs, the 1,649,000 plus the 121,800, it's what overall captures the public safety department. But the reason why we're doing it this way is because we have separated CIP funds. So now we're also going to track it separate as well on the expenditure side. But when the audit comes, the 2027 audit is done, they will capture that, capture that together. They will actually combine that and show it on their report.
Okay, all right, thanks.
So that is the only reason why you see that, because we're removing it from the departmental since we are now separating CIP purchases with its own fundage.
But without taking that approach, there will be an increase, right? Of course, obviously.
Yes, yes, it would have been an increase about 160,000 this year if we have done it how we previously had done in prior years.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Any other questions thus far?
Okay.
Thank you.
So we're on the proposed tax rate page. This is what will be published out again with that real estate property tax rate at the top of the page, 0.098 per $100 assessed value. All other taxes here we have not modified. Are there any questions on this page? Yes, Mr. Pasanello?
Yeah, I know we talked about this on the finance side, but let me see how I can pose this question. So the county, we offloaded some work to the county, right? A number of years ago. They do the inspections and things of that nature for us. When a customer or a resident comes in to do a permit, they pay our fee. How does the county get paid?
They pay their fee.
So
So the process
So I guess what
You
I'm
want me to
getting to, what I'm getting to is, so if the county's fees are going to increase, that means our residents are going to see those increases as well?
Yes, if they
Okay.
are doing work that requires a building permit. So
Okay.
if somebody comes in, and we'll do two quick scenarios so we're all in alignment with how we see it happening. You come in and you're building out your basement. It's currently unfinished. You're applying to do a full build out, drywall, everything, and maybe a small kitchenette in your basement. So you first have to come to the town of Haymarket and request a zoning approval. So Prince William County does none of our zoning for us. We still handle that service over here. So they'll get a zoning approval request. That is a $25 fee. We sign off. They're allowed to do this. They can build out their basement. That's fine. It's interior. Proceed to the building department. They then go down to Prince William County Building Department and they do all of their building permitting fees through them, just as you normally would with any type of project of that nature. Any questions on that
No,
scenario?
I mean, I guess I just want to be clear that people understand when they do something like this, they're still going to be subject to the increases that the county is going to charge.
Yes.
So somewhere we need to articulate that, I would suggest.
Something that I ran into, because the example that Emily used is exactly what I went through last year, and the county would not even speak to me for the building permit side of the house until I had the zoning approval from the town.
Right.
And our residents might not appreciate that, but as your town zoning administrator, that is appreciated because that's our safeguard. That helps us ensure that our residents are meeting our zoning ordinance and that they're still following what we've put in line and in place. So that is why we still handle all of the zoning there. If you were to do an exterior project, a similar case happens, but depending on what you're applying for, you might have to go see the Architectural Review Board first and go through a zoning permit process. That's a little bit more time on our side. It's a $50 fee for our residents instead of a $25 approval fee. They'll go through that process, they get that letter, and then they still proceed to the building department for that addition. Maybe it's a front facade change, siding, and some other stuff that might require a building permit. So when it comes to discussing and advertising that the county's building department fees are going to go up, we can make note of it, and certainly that can be something that we share and tell them when they're applying for those permits. I don't find that it would be appropriate, though, to put it necessarily in these proposed tax rates, as it's not our change.
Well, I just didn't want folks to be, confused about it. So as long as you have a process in place so they could understand that they're still subject to those increases, I think that's important.
In the past, we've not had any complaints or concerns regarding those permitting fees. When it comes to residents, we had one commercial developer who they knew they had to pay them, but they would tell us that they were too high. And we let them know that they could contact their supervisor and discuss that process with them. So. Okay.
I was just going to add that a lot of times when a resident is doing those work, that they intentionally actually go to the county before they even see us. So I would say that a majority of the time they are already aware that the county is going to charge them eventually, because they go to the county first and the county sends them back to us before I provide a letter that says you may now receive your building permits from the county. So I think that does safeguard us even more, because residents tend to go to the county before they even come to us unintentionally.
Okay. So if they have an issue, like you just said before, if they have an issue with the rates, they could either do it in person, make a comment as the county goes through their budgeting, or talk to our Gainesville supervisor and see what
Yes.
kind of traction they can get.
Yes, and right now is the time. They're also working through their budget. They went through presenting it to the board just a couple weeks ago. So now is the time for them.
And the system, the way we have it set up now, I mean, you remember a number of years ago, we offloaded that responsibility because of a number of factors.
Yes.
But it seems to be working better for us.
Absolutely. I know that you guys might hear some pushback from your community. And I think sometimes you hear the smaller issues and they become a big issue for that person. Maybe it's they feel that they were unnecessarily delayed in getting a permit. But what I will say is the level of service they are getting and the town is getting by partnering with Prince William County to be our building official it far surpasses what we could do on our own. We were struggling with being able to have somebody who was a consultant contractor or even looking at having to hire our own building official who would have to take that workload all on themselves or their contracted company would do so. We were having poor response time. We weren't having the same review system across the board for the same projects. The permit fees, you had one person, poor fella, came in and tried to put in an ice cream machine at his commercial business, and they quoted him $900 in inspection fees alone. And so we just didn't have consistency there. So ever since we moved over January 1st of 2018, it has been monumentally better, not only for our residents and the level of service they get, but also for our tracking purposes and for assessments. A lot of this is getting recorded the right way. They have things on file. They have those who are professionally trained and have those certifications doing the work, doing the inspections. They have the consistency. So I understand sometimes people feel that they maybe got delayed or an inspection didn't go the way they wanted it, but it's been a far better service than I think the town could offer at this time.
Yep. Okay, thank you.
And with that, we also get them to help us with property maintenance. And so that is a nice feature as well that we have leaned on them and they've helped us out with some of those cases. So. Okay, any more questions on tax rates? Okay. This is our current town properties valuation table. So these are all of our town properties that we own and the property value. Happy to answer any questions there. I think this kind of speaks for itself. Any
Yeah, I do have a question.
Okay.
What are the valuations based on again?
Apologies. Versa comes out yearly. When they do our renewal policy, they also come out to see the current conditions and of all the town-owned properties that they insure.
Thank you.
This is different from the assessments, because yes, it is different from the assessments.
Thank you.
Any other questions on that one?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. And finally, this is in very high level, the proposed FY 2027 balanced budget with the revenue and expenditures there side by side.
Right.
So again, at the work session, that'll be on the 30th of March. We will be going line by line through the detailed version of this.
Oh, shucks.
Mr. Passanello will not be there, but as one of your finance liaisons, I encourage you between now and the 28th to reach out to him, ask him questions, get his input on anything that you might have questions on. We'll be meeting also with Alexander in his absence to continue our finance liaison meetings and talking about everything. Everyone's more than welcome to join us for those. We will keep talking about the budget, but the work session will be our big kind of unveiling of each item up close and personal. Are there any questions on this balanced budget? Roberto, is there anything additional that you might want to add, or Chief?
No, I look forward to the 30th. I know with Councilman Passanello and Alexander, we just met an hour and a half before the meeting to go over stuff. We've had 4 weeks of working on this. have been very productive meetings, but now we're ready to go ahead and meet with the rest of council. There are going to be a few items that are going to be new, but excited to share that with you guys on the thoughts behind it and the logic and how to streamline this budget. So on the 30th, if you guys do want to set time aside with Emily or I before that, just to get on one-on-one, more than happy to do so as well.
Okay, before I make any comment, I just want to point out, and maybe you can just speak a little bit to some of the placeholders and some of the things that we still don't have enough information on that may end up impacting the budget.
Yes, as we all know, one of the main things is the compensation study that is ongoing. Currently, this budget is being funded by general funds. We do have some ways of some expenditures that could be funded by using general funds balance, which is basically reserves, one-time cost that we'll get into once we meet on the 30th. But for doing it the proper way, I wanted to present a balanced budget. So there are some placeholders. The compensation study is one of them, and the other is currently the renewal policy and the insurance, which was hoping to have it last week. I've been told I would get it last week. I'm still waiting. But in this budget, I preemptively did a estimated 20% increase just in case for a placeholder. But overall, it's a very healthy budget that we will be able to adjust if it's more than that is needed. But yes, hopefully by this week I'll be able to have even better numbers. And obviously with our weekly meetings with finance, we'll be updating them as well.
And I just wanted to give Chief an opportunity if he wanted to say anything about his portion of the budget, any highlights or anything like that.
Basically, we're still continuing to work on good infrastructure and good police practices and bringing the equipment and infrastructure to those areas that will continue us in a positive rate and co-coordinate and sideways with the accreditation that we now have. And of course, looking to build out with e-summonses, and that helps us with reporting and a lot of other things. So everything is beneficial, not just to the community on our side, but to our infrastructure and the accreditation process that we continue to go through and keep up on a yearly basis. And of course, with every 4 years being reassessed. So it's all going back to the police practices. Obviously, the in-car cam and those items are not just good for the police officers and their safety, but the safety of those that we detain and interact with on a daily basis, providing a level of transparency that would keep us in a positive light with the community. And good police practices as well. But if anybody has any questions specifically on any pricing or the thoughts on the need for anything, I'll be glad to address it at any time that you all see fit or the town manager sees fit.
Thank you, Chief.
Anything else?
Just, do you have any comments about the budget yet? Because I just wanted to kind of just speak to the March 30th meeting a little bit. So you're going to be handing out in advance the big sheets, which is essentially our profit and loss statement, right? And that's how you'll be going line by line.
Comparable with the past 5 years.
Comparable with the past 5 years. So, take a really hard look at this. And if there's something in there that you think may need more money, or you think could be adjusted or whatever, or maybe something that's missing, this is going to be your opportunity to kind of speak up to it. So that's all I wanted to say for now.
And one little add-on to what Mr. Pastanello just said, also consider the newly adopted strategic plan, what our top priorities are, ensuring that collectively you as council feel confident that we've allocated the appropriate funding to accomplish those goals as well. We did try to really marry it up and work with that, but if you guys see there's maybe additional room for growth, we're looking for that feedback as well.
And I'll be there in spirit.
We can Zoom you in.
I was gonna say, we can Zoom you in, Joe.
Call me in Norway.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Give us a lot of numbers.
Anything on this side?
Right, you'll be sitting there with a glass of aquavit.
Are we all good? Any other questions? No.
Okay. And again, Roberto, Chief, and I were available if anybody wants to talk in addition to this evening ahead of the work session. Please reach out to us to schedule something. We're happy to meet.
Awesome. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you so much. And we will make sure that the updated version of this gets included when Kim does the minutes as well.
Thank you. Ooh, whoa.
Thank you. Wake up, wake up.
All right. So that is going to lead us into council member time. Councilmember Pianier,
Yes,
you are on the top.
I am.
You are.
Oh. Whereas. All right. I don't know how much of a concern it is, but I do have concerns around land use when it comes to the things that are permitted by right. Considering some incompatible zoning, let's put it that way, currently exists, right? For example, one of the by right uses of a B1 is a club, right? So we need to ask ourselves, does it make sense for someone to put a club in some of the B1 zoning areas, right? So if possible, and we have the planning commission liaison, we have the planner, if possible, I would ask that you review the zoning district and what is allowed by right, and consider whether it makes sense to have those things as by right use, right? I think we need to, before things get out of hand, before things become a problem, let's think ahead, let's plan, right? Let's block and tackle as much as possible in advance. So that's, if you can do me a favor, just review those things. And for some of the things that are allowed by right, I don't know, we have the town attorney here. What I'm thinking is let's switch it to a special use permit, right? By doing so, we're not saying, you cannot have a club on B1. And if we were to change that to a special use, right? What we're saying to the property owners is you may be able to have a club in B1, except it's going to require some sort of special use permit, right? Which will allow us to have a chance to determine whether or not it's appropriate for club to be put in one of the B1 properties, right? Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Again, I'm trying to get ahead of problems, right? So that would be my suggestion. So, all right, okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Councilmember Baker.
I really don't have much. Just want to say thank you to staff and thank you for everybody that came out tonight from the town, and just want to hope everybody has a good rest of their week and stay safe out there.
Thank you. Councilmember Caspinello. Caspinello. No, I can't even say it.
I was like, who's that?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Two of us
Who is it?
can hear it all the time.
I said it's like twice wrong.
Dave, how are you? I like that one better.
I was like, I'm not gonna switch it up. I've been doing last names the whole time, so that would be bad.
Just a couple things to kind of talk about. We are in March, so obviously it is coming in like a lion. Hopefully it'll leave like a lamb. But a couple things happening, and some of have St. Patrick's Day. It's a big celebration. Guys wearing green already.
It's St. Patrick's month.
Lot of celebrations for St. Patrick's Day. Lots of people like to overindulge. That's not a good thing. So just anybody who's watching and listening, call a friend, call an Uber, call a Lyft if you've had too much. Do not get on the roads. 21st, big event. Chief and I are getting our head shaved at St. Baldrick's. All right. If anybody would like to come and join us in getting their head shaved, or, some are taking up early on it. Yeah, see? Right. please join us. Please come heckle us. It's for a really good cause, pediatric cancer research. So Chief and I are stepping up. Hopefully others on the dais here will step up and join. Come laugh, join us. It'll be a great event. Heckle us, laugh at it. The mayor's putting the razor through the tops of our heads, giving us the inverted mohawks. So,
It's
oh yeah, she gets the first pass.
Yeah.
More fun. How you suggest waxing?
Funny you say that. My wife she's already upset because I told her I'm not going to be shiny like Kojak. So, but other than that, thank you to the town, residents, employees. It's a great crew we have here, and I see things and I read things, and it just tells me this is everyone's hometown. So, yeah.
Thank you.
I might have misunderstood.
Joe.
I thought you were going to get your hair cut.
Me?
Because I was going to say, yeah, I'll do it, but there's not much left. I mean,
Which is why you should
just
do
kidding.
it.
Just kidding. Well, March 21st, definitely. We'll be there. Want to thank Mr. Pittman for coming in tonight. Always regale us with some interesting stories. I thought we were going to roll him in with his drums and he was going to play for us a little bit. But thank you very much. Yeah, very good, very good. Just want to point out a couple of things. Our clerk sent out a email, I think, was it last month or was it in January, about filing to run for office. Right? Does everybody get that? Okay, because I think, what's the cutoff date for filing your candidacy? Is it June 16th? By 7 p.m., June 16th by 7 p.m. Could we in fact make sure that all the boards and commissions are aware of that as well?
Yes.
I think that would be very helpful, and maybe put something out to the community. Anybody who's interested in running, we really need to do that, get the word out. So that would be great. I want to wish everybody a Ramadan Mubarak, the season of Ramadan for those who celebrate. Oh, my favorite, I got my red envelope for Chinese New Year. So Happy New Year. What is it? The year of the fire horse. Yeah, very good. And then one interesting bill that I've been following, and we've talked to the chief a little bit about this, is HB 1220. And it has to do with photo speed enforcement. And this bill seems to be doing pretty well. It's in committee in the Senate. And I think it might end up getting through and get signed. So that might be something we might want to consider including if it does get passed. And there's the option of using that technology to help our police department, kind of offset some of the needs that they have. So I just wanted to raise that, and we'll keep an eye on that as well as some other interesting bills. And we'll talk about those at another time. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. Councilmember Larson.
Yeah, well, March is definitely a big month of activity. I mean, with the equinox, we are going into all the celebrations of starting a new harvest, right? So it's packed with a lot of cultural, religious, national, and international celebrations. We did put out the proclamation for the Red Cross. Other things to mention that's going on this month in observances. We got Women's History Month, Endometriosis Awareness Month, boatload of other things. Of course, we've already mentioned St. Patrick's Day, but which kind of goes with St. Patrick's Day, which is also an observance. Does anybody know what it is? No, it's not the green beer, but it's
St. Joseph's Day.
Is it Pi Day?
No, well, what I'm looking at for March 17th is corned beef and cabbage day. That's one of my favorite meals, so I'll be enjoying that.
I love that. Mashed potatoes go with it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, a lot of celebrations. I mean, I could go on with a boatload of other things, but I think that kind of hits my time limit. So I'll pass it on to you guys.
Thank you. All right, Vice Mayor.
Alrighty, so as the one, I think the one person up here who actually is 100% Irish by descent, as well as my wife, I will say that this is a big month for those of us who just do celebrate. I would encourage everybody not just to look for their local pub. There are a number of fantastic Irish cultural events as well, including Irish dancers from a lot of the kids in our immediate community. Look up places like Boyle School, which is a large one. Look up places like I believe there's Phoenix Dance Academy. There's a couple of others. Look them up, see where they're performing, and go pay them a visit. These kids work really hard and would definitely appreciate seeing you come out. And yes, you can get some corned beef and cabbage, perhaps some shepherd's pie. And yes, you can get a Guinness as well. The other thing that I have for tonight, just kind of in the same spirit as Council Member Biene's comments around, he talked about zoning. One of the other things that I've been thinking about recently, and I know we've talked about it a number of times, is our sign ordinance. And I think this is something that I want to encourage all of us to begin thinking about. From reviewing it myself, I think there's a lot of ambiguous language in there. And then there have been a couple of things that have come up and questions that I've even gotten from some of the local businesses about what is and what is not allowed. And I think that we want to probably address that kind of in the same spirit. Let's get out in front of it and let's do something sooner rather than later. I do think that's something we want to consider here in the near future. That's all I have.
All right, awesome. Thank you. All right, so it is my turn. I will keep it relatively short. Thank you so much for coming out. It is always a joy. I do enjoy listening to your stories and hearing all about your experiences, so thank you. I am very excited about the Willing Warriors Car Show on the 16th of May, so I certainly hope that we can all come in the time that we can and support them. I'm very excited about the 21st and St. Baldrick's event. I think it's going to be a blast, and I think it's just a very nice way to come support and just really be a part of this amazing community. Attended the Kitty Academy ribbon cutting on Friday, and the facility is amazing. And I'm looking forward to volunteering to read and maybe play blocks or build something with the kids. So that'll be fun. And then as my last note, I would like to send prayers and appreciation to all of our service members and their families. So stay safe. Thank you very much for providing an amazing country for us to live in. And that is all I have.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.